Okay, let's talk about what you should be doing every single day and how I've been able to progress early on with my experience from even back in the soft launch, right? So there's a lot of things that basically have remained the same. Not much has changed, but there's just a bit more for you to do. And a lot of it is just logic, but we're gonna go over all of it to make sure you haven't forgotten anything. So obviously, go at your own pace, right? That's like one very important thing. I mean, you shouldn't get burnt out. Play when you want to, how you want to, but I'm just going to give you basically everything that you need to do. So every time you log in, very simple, just claim your activity funds. Okay, just press claim. Okay. It's 24 hours, so you're probably like, if you're especially casual, you probably won't be like claiming this more than like twice a day max. But just make sure you get that. Special funds is only if you have the monthly pack. Now, one important thing to mention is that you actually get additional XP and gold depending on the total level of your hunters. So I have the total level of my hunters is 941. So I'm getting an extra 4.5% XP. And I think that it's kind of important. But for right now, don't worry too much about it. Do not go spending gold just because you want to get a bit extra Genu XP. That is not the way to go, okay? Now, of course, you want to always use your gate keys, which I'm going to do basically after this video. Basically like reset kind of hit. So we're going to be checking, well, we're going to be doing this. Always make sure to, at least if you're not going to do all your gate runs because you feel lazy, to minimum get your XP. Okay, you want to always get all the XP. Now, one big thing to help you progress even further and quicker is just do. First of all, I wouldn't really touch a lot of I wouldn't touch the gold gates because you get a bit extra gold. But overall, these blue ones are going to be the best because if you check the red gate, right, and you check the purple gate, being the dungeon break, you don't actually get any of the enhancement gear, which early on is going to come in clutch, and the enhancement chips for artifacts. So I'd say most of the time you could do the blue gates. I tend to stray away from the dungeon breaks. These mark of times are pretty good, but I found that they are pretty rare in terms of getting them here. And also like the cubes are great. You're going to get a decent amount, right? Even without touching these. But if you are missing, for sure do the dungeon breaks. But red gates, obviously still valuable. Getting player skill scrolls are really good, but out of everything, the most valuable for sure are being able to get your level up materials, and it's only in the blue ones. I don't know why, but it's only in the blue ones, so it's definitely the best one to get or to actually grind for sure. And obviously it's the easiest ones, but still definitely something to keep in mind. Now also, I showed this in one of my previous videos, but you want to kind of, in some instances where you are lazy, right, you want to maybe put 1 or 2 difficulty settings lower. For min-maxing players, not the best thing to do, but if you're not trying to spend 2 hours in gates, probably not 2 hours, over-exaggerated a bit, but a lot of time in gates, you could put it a bit lower, so you're actually able to sweep with more of your units with more power. So that's basically one big thing that I did want to explain. Now, you want to do story, okay? You want to always do story, get as much XP. And one big thing that I think, I've seen it happen with some people. If it doesn't happen with you, congrats. I mean, definitely with me too. I didn't really realize it till a bit later. Is that like the side chapters are actually really important, not even just for XP, but especially for all the materials you're going to get, right? So by materials, I'm talking about the enhancement chips, the enhancement gear, the weapon level up, the artifact level up. You could get rune fragments for the runes, and then a bit of gold. You get some traces, which is actually going to be very helpful too, and obviously pulls, right? You're going to get more pulls, XP, gold, all that good stuff. So you're going to basically be getting everything. Now, hard 2 is also very important because in terms of everything, it gives a lot more level up materials, and you're just going to want to make sure you do it as you go, and just everything for story, right? If you're really trying to min-max, which I mean, if it isn't obvious, I've not been doing, unfortunately, this is one huge thing to do. Now for reverse, it's mainly going to be like, if we're checking it out, for like the pulls, and then also some level up materials, and then also like the modern power elixirs, very good stuff to give, and some extra shadow stuff. No XP though, but still very good. And it's just pretty simple. You use your hunters, so like it's actually a really good thing that they have. So just make sure you're always on top of your story game. Now Hunter Archive, I mean, get it for pulls. I don't like, it's cool, I guess. I'll just unlock the keys because I can. I don't really play these, but I mean, considering there's 8, it's going to be a good 400 crystals. So, definitely not something to scoff at. Now, for Encore instance, I want to make something very clear, actually. Well, more so for Encore, I think this is going to be important. You want to get out of the Viridescent Mage Force and the Kasaka, the first two, as quick as possible once you unlock Cerebrus and Arachnid. The main reason is because these are immediately higher level gears. Okay, that is something very important. So yes, tier 8, 9, 10, or I think 7, like all of these, starting tier 5, is going to have the legendary gear, right? But the thing is, these are higher levels, so you will get less substats once you start here, but you're going to get higher main stats. And one big thing about it is that early on, I'm going to recommend you guys do not level up your gear that much. So you shouldn't even be touching, you shouldn't really be touching the substats of these and like upgrading them. So you having more substats from level 1 gear is not as important as having higher main stats. So starting from tier 1 of Cerebrus and Arachnid is way better than going for the Mage Force and Kasaka. Now I understand Cerebrus is Cerberus is a rough one. We'll say rough one. But don't worry, Alicia's coming soon. He will be stopped. Okay, we will be beating Cerebrus today. Or Cerberus. I don't know why I say Cerebrus, but I switched the E and the B that you see right here. Like for me, it sounds like Cerebrus, but it's Cerberus. So I don't know why. Cerberus sounds way better too, but whatever. So you want to switch over to Cerberus and Arachnid the minute they unlock if you're able to clear them. And that's going to be something pretty important. Now, as for the ones you should farm first, I mean, it's whichever is easier for you, right? I hyper-focused Arachnid, and now especially with Ha, I just want to play Arachnid and beat its ass, but I do need to focus more on Cerberus because I have a lot less good gear for the gloves and also the boots. So that's something kind of important. Now, for instance, just you want to do both, a bit of both, right? Just go into it. Whichever one you have type advantage, probably focus on that one first. So if you have like dark weapons, maybe focus more on Igris, and if you have the water book, maybe focus more on the Lycan. If you have both, go half and half and just hope you're lucky. That's like kind of the best way I could basically go about it. Now I'm pretty sure I get an extra 2, so if you have 4, you could just put 4 one day, 4 the other day, and like you should be chilling. You should definitely also be focusing on Battlefield of Time. By the way, this art looks sick because in the shop, once the ranking period ends, you'll be able, not the gold, you'll be able to get these hunter exclusive weapon designs, which long term is going to be extremely important to getting more SSR weapons. I'm able to craft another 2. I don't know which I'm crafting yet. I might just full go into Cha, but I'm not really too sure yet if I just want to get more. But that's definitely something that's kind of important going for Battlefield and Battlefield of Time, Battlefield of Trials. Just extra pulls, not really even gonna mention it. So yeah. Now then, I mean, this is kind of obvious, but make sure you're keeping up to date with the challenges. I mean, now it's so many more pulls. I'm so happy, but it's also so much more effort. I've not seen this, but very interesting that that's there. Anyway, I'm gonna see that a bit later. But definitely keep up to date with this. Like, always make sure you're up to date because, for example, there's going to be some times where the Battlefield of Time isn't going to be out, and it's going to want you to record a trial for it. Or, for example, you need to clear a red gate, but it's going to be in the next chapter that you haven't unlocked yet, and you could have gotten it if you were paying more attention and actually keeping up to date with the challenges, which I think is kind of important. Now, for people who, I have to obviously do more gates. For people who have the subscription, it's not really that important because it's going to do it on its own. But for people who don't have the subscription, make sure you keep on applying your dispatch mining, right? Because you want to actually get as much mining because it's a very good shop. So for example, it's going to be giving you artifact enhancement chips, which could be very good for people. It's going to be giving weapon enhancement gear, which I think this one, a lot of people are going to want to profit off of. And of course, player scrolls, skill scrolls, and even more Encore and instance runs every day. So for a total of 240 every day, you could get 4 keys total. And I think that's going to be pretty important. So there's a bunch of stuff to consider for that. But other little things to kind of help you through is if you salvage your rares, which I'd say maybe salvage your rares. That's the most you should do. You could sometimes get extra weapon enhancement gear. Besides that, if you need the cubes, you could really get them from this if you really need them. So little things, right? There's really not much else you need to really look out for every day. Just make sure you don't always waste your gold. You want to keep a pretty good amount of gold and you should be fine, right? So just have fun with the game. Check out guides, right? And you'll be good. Check out websites, check out tier lists, see what's good. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching and peace.